Subscribe to my channel Making Impossible and press the bell icon so that you don't miss any one of my upcoming videos.
Yo, what's up friends? I'm Shulazari and welcome back to Making Impossible, the channel that teaches you how to make the impossible and be the smartest person in the room. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you a really amazing magic trick where you're going to turn cards invisible inside your palm and then you're going to transfer it onto another pile of cards and turn it visible. Now this is a quite popular trick. I don't really recall the name of it, but it would be amazing for you to learn this trick if you haven't learned it yet. So without any further ado, let's start our today's video. This week's Instagram feature goes to Sushant Ghanekar. Follow him on Instagram. Link will be given in the video description.
I'll feature one lucky Instagram user every Monday in my Smack That Monday episodes. If you want your Instagram profile or page to be featured in my next Smack That Monday episode, follow the simple steps that are given in the video description. So now, let's continue.
Okay guys, here's the performance of this trick. Now for this trick, I just don't need an entire deck of cards. I need only 4 cards. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 playing cards for this trick, okay? And I'm just going to leave this rest of the deck right over here. Now over here, as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3 and 4 cards. And the concept here about the trick is about the card palming. Now, you know, magicians, they palm cards which look somewhat like this, and from this angle the card is visible, but from here the card is not visible, but the spectators would be able to figure out that since your hand is in this position, you're actually palming a card, and which you are actually doing. So magicians who are really magicians, they have to do several things while they have to palm a card. For example, let's say they kept a card over here and they have 3 cards over here, and let's say they are going to palm a card this time, okay? And let's say this is the card that they are going to palm. So they have palmed a card and the spectator knows that they have actually palmed a card in front of them, so they are going to accuse the magician that they have actually palmed a card, that the magician has palmed a card. And at this point the magician is going to turn the palm card invisible and show their hand to the spectator that it's empty. But when they go over here and keep the card, you can see that the card is visible at that point and the magician is left with just 2 cards. Now over here, as you can see, we have 2 cards. I'm just going to keep these 2 cards right over here, and we have 2 over here. What I'm going to do is, as the magician does, they take this card, they palm it just like that, and now they are going to turn it into invisible, that card into invisible, and then you're going to go over there and place that card and make it visible. So right now we are left with the 4th card, which is the 8 of spades. Now at this point you could have said that I'm putting a different card over there every single time, but at this point you're going to see that this is the 8 of spades, which I'm going to leave right over here, and at this point I have 1, 2 and 3 cards just over here. This is the 8 of spades. I'm just going to keep it right over here just like that, and then as you can see, I'm just going to palm this card, the 8 of spades, just like that, and I'm going to turn it into invisible, and then when I'm going to go over here and I'm just going to drop the 8 of spades, it turns visible. Now if you think that that is a different card, no, that is the 8 of spades right over there, and the other 3 cards which I used to demonstrate the invisible palm teleportation. So that's the card trick, and let's see how you can do this card trick. Alright guys, here is how this trick is done. Now for doing this trick, at first you're starting with 4 cards for the spectator, but in reality you're starting with 5 cards. But the best part of this trick is you're ending up with 4 cards. That means you're getting rid of the secret 5th card that the spectator never knew. So what you're going to do is you're going to count 4 cards from the top just like that, 1, 2, 3, 4, and while you're counting the 4 cards, you're going to add a secret card to that stack, and you're going to do that by just taking a break above the bottom card just like that with your thumb, and you're going to hold the deck just like that. And then while you're going to take the 4 cards from the top, after taking the first card, while you're going to take the second card, you're actually going to drop this card on top of this one, and then you're going to take the second card at the same time. So at this point the spectator is going to see that you're taking two cards, because under the cover of the second card you're taking that card. So he or she is going to think that you're taking two cards, but in reality you're taking three cards. So it should look somewhat just like this. So 1, 2, just like that. You saw me, I took two cards, but in reality I took three cards. Now I'm just going to continue that count to 4, like 3 and then 4, and at this point I'm just going to keep this deck of cards face up right over here in front of them. Now this is important to keep this deck of cards face up, because you'll know that at the end of this tutorial. So at this point the spectator is going to know that I have 4 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 cards, and deep inside you know that you have 5 cards. And at this point what you need to do is you need to tell your spectator a story that magicians, they palm cards, and when they palm cards their hand looks somewhat like this, and at that point you know that they are palming cards and their trick gets caught. So real magicians, what they does is they actually palm cards, but they turn it invisible, so that even if they palm cards you won't be able to see cards. And after saying that, you're going to start doing the trick. So at this point when you're just saying that story, what you're going to do is you are going to take two cards from the top. Okay, you're going to take a pinky break under the top two cards, and then you're going to take two cards from the top and keep it right over here on the mat. And then at this point what you're going to do is you're going to spread these three cards right over here. So at this point the spectator is going to think that there is one card and there are three cards, but in reality there are two cards which is kept as one, and over here you have three cards in front of your eyes. So at this point what you're going to do is you're just going to fake palm this card, and you're going to just take this card, put it just like that. Make sure the spectator doesn't see the face of these cards, because if they see the face of the card at the end, this might be the card that we are going to get rid of. So the spectator won't be finding this card, and they're going to know that you're using extra cards. So make sure the spectator doesn't see the face of these cards. So at this point what you're going to do is you're just going to hold the card in this elevated position just like that, and then you're going to come over here and just pretend to palm the card, and under the cover of this palming you're actually going to drop the card on top of this pile, and then the card actually gets squared up with this other two cards. And at this point the spectator is going to think that you have a card palmed inside your hand, because your hand is in this position, but you can turn your hand freely because there is no card. But for the spectator it looks like that you have a invisible palmed card in your hand. Now at this point you can just hold all these three cards over here and just spread one card to make it look like that you have two cards over here. So the spectator gets more convinced that there is one invisible card in your hand. And what you're going to do is you're going to come over here at this point, and you're going to place your hand on these two cards. There are two cards over here, so you're going to place on the top card, place your hand on the top card, and then you're going to use this edge of your hand to move this top card towards this side, and you're going to do that under the cover of the palm. So you come over here, you move that card to this side, and then you're going to actually open up your fingers and show that you have kept the card over there in front of them, but they didn't see it. So at this point your spectator knows that you did a magic trick in front of them, that is you turned the card into invisible, and then you brought it over here, dropped it, and made it visible. Now at this point we need to transfer one more card from here to there, but we have only two cards over here, and we know we have three cards over here, but the spectator knows that two over here and there are two over there. So at this point we just need to reverse the entire thing. At this point what I'm going to do is, instead of transferring card from here to there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer one card from there to here, because I know there is an extra card in this hand. So at this point what I'm going to do is I'm going to just close this pack, make sure these three cards are squared up, and then I'm going to hold these cards just like that and just pull one card from the bottom just like that, so that right now it looks like two cards, but in reality I know there is one more card on top of the top card, on the bottom of the top card. And at this point I'm just going to take these two cards and keep it right over here, and I'm just going to take these two cards in my hand, and then again do the same thing about the fake palming, and I'm going to just square these two cards up, show that my hand is palming a card but it's invisible. Go over here, do the same thing that I did at the first, open up my fingers to show that there are 3 cards right now because I've transferred 1 card from this pile of 2 cards to that pile of 2 cards. So right now here is 1, there is 3. Now at this point what I'm going to do is I'm going to intentionally show the face of this card, because at this point I want the spectators to know that whatever I am doing is legit. So at this point they won't be able to blame me about the cards that I'm actually keeping here and there. So at this point what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these 3 cards and I'm going to tell to my spectator, you see this king of diamonds, I'm going to take this king of diamonds, leave it right over here. Now as I told you to keep this deck faced up at the beginning, because I'm going to leave 1 card face down which is not the king, because I had 2 cards over here and I turned these 2 cards as 1 and it looked like king. So when I kept this 2 cards as 1 and I took the actual 1 card, the actual top card, this is not the king, this is a different card which the spectator doesn't need to know, and we are going to get rid of this card. So at this point I'm going to keep this card on top of this one. So if this deck was face down, they would actually confuse this card with the other card. So at the beginning I kept this card, I kept this deck of cards faced up, so that at the end when I need to keep this card face down on the deck, they will be able to figure out that this is a different card. Now at this point all you need to do is don't pull the cards from the top, because on the top card you have the king of diamonds already, but for the spectator you have 3 cards over here and the king of diamonds over here. So that's for the spectator. So at this point what you're going to do is you're going to just pull 1 card and 2 card. So you're going to just pull these 2 cards from the bottom, because over here under the top card you have another card and you don't want to expose it at this point. So you're going to pull 2 cards from the bottom just like that, and you're going to keep these 2 cards right over here, sorry, these 3 cards right over here. Actually you know that you have 4 cards over there, but for the spectator you're going to keep 3 cards right over there. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take this deck of cards and you're going to just keep this card a little bit outside from the deck of cards. Now what you're going to do here is the half vanish. Now you're not going to do the exact half vanish, you're going to do the more of an earnest change. All you're going to do is, the spectator thinks that this is the king of diamonds, you're going to come over here and you're just going to cover this card up just like that with your palm, and as you cover it up you're going to use this part of your hand to pull the bottom card down just like that, to pull this card outside, and as this card comes outside you're going to again use your hand to go and place this card on top of this card. But you're not going to actually go from the side. All you're going to do is you're going to come over here and again go up just like that, go straight up just like that, because if you go sideways the spectator would be able to see the other card, not this card, and they will know that you are moving this card away. So what you need to do is you need to just bring that card down and put it halfway up, sorry, you have to square it up with the top of the deck, and then you're not going to remove your hand just like that, you're going to go over here and you're going to pretend to palm this card, and as you pretend to palm this card from the bottom you're using your index finger to push this card inside under the bottom of this card, and you're going to pretend that you have palmed that card and you have taken that card in your hand and turned it invisible. Now at this point this is what you're going to do. For the spectator it looks like that you have made that card, you have taken that card in your hand, but you have actually kept that card under this card, and the spectator is going to think that this is the invisible card right over here, the invisible king of diamonds. You're going to go over there and do the same thing that you did at first, and you're going to lift your hand and show to your spectator at this point. At this point you're going to keep your deck of cards face down, because if you keep your deck of cards face up and let's say this card moves away, they're going to see a face down card right over here. So this time you're going to keep your deck of cards face down and say to your spectator, so over here as you saw the king of diamonds has actually traveled over here, and then you're going to turn this card right just like that, so that your spectator gets convinced that yes, this is the king of diamonds he showed to me, and this is the king of diamonds he transferred right in front of my eyes, he turned it invisible and transferred it to this pack of 3 cards. And then you're just going to turn over these 3 cards as if they were all the same the entire time, and the spectator will never know about the secret card that is faced up over here. Now what you're going to do is to make this card normal, what you're going to do is you're just going to ask your spectators to take these cards and examine that were these normal cards or not, because you have taken this at random, this could be gimmick cards, and when they examine it, what you're doing is at first you're taking the bottom card and you're actually turning it over. Okay, you're turning it over secretly, and then you know that on the bottom you have two cards turned over. Now at this point what you're going to do is you're going to take two cards and then you're going to again turn them over, and after you turn them over, both of the cards have actually turned face down. So right now at this point the entire deck is face down, and that is how this trick is done, and that is how you're going to end this trick. And also give some shuffles so that the spectator sees that you have shuffled the deck, and at the end if they look at the bottom card, that is not the queen of clubs, that is not the same card, because if they don't find that card and you haven't shuffled, they would suspect you of doing something. So shuffle the cards and then you can do whatever you want, and the spectator is going to give back these cards, put it back right over here, and end this trick or show them some other trick. So that's how this trick is done. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you did so, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram at shoelazadi. Also, if you have any questions, you can use the comment section for that, and don't forget to subscribe to my other channel, Recipe Savage channel. I post entertaining videos and gameplays over there, and the link to the channel will be given right in the description box as well as in the cards. And don't forget to smash the subscribe button of this channel if you're not a subscriber yet, and turn on the post notifications so that you don't miss my upcoming videos and my future Smack That Monday episodes. Peace!